Hey there everyone, Luke here, and like I said, apologise for getting this review completely this late, but been busy this week, not just with work, but also with actually getting my latest book published. Yeah, it's on Amazon at the moment, on the ebooks, and hopefully the paperback won't take too long to come out. Fingers crossed about that. Knocking on wood right there. So yeah, that's what I've been up to, and I've got that out of the way. So without further ado, let's just dive right into this chapter. Okay, so this will be chapter 248, titled Bad Boy, and we start off the chapter with colour pages because it's actually the 5th anniversary of Mission Yozakura Family. Yeah, remember when that this series that people thought like, oh, it won't survive in any way, and we even had like the awkward wedding chapter, which was obviously put there because it's like, I don't know if it'll if it's going to be axed or not, so might as well just put an end point in here just so that hey, it ends on a high note. But yeah, here we are, 5 years later. I started like doing the reviews for this around like the 3.5 year mark, sort of like around there. But anyway, so the colour pages start off with Hiyofumi and Alpha, where Hiyofumi is just basically tormenting Alpha about like, oh yeah, do you remember our father? Yeah, here he is making yummy hamburger steaks, and you just have Alpha just being like, Papa, 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 before Hiyofumi says, okay, now he's being taken over by the big bad Asa, and he will give us all the pats, but of course he's been possessed, so he's fighting Anti-Futaba and the others right now. And then this is where Alpha just stops. It's just like, please stop tormenting me about that. I know that's been taken over, but you don't have to keep rubbing it in our faces here. And Hilford is just like, oh come on! I just wanted to lighten things up here, and I love the caption here where they were like, "Yeah, we hit our 5th anniversary, but the main character has been possessed by the big bad." And the colour page is quite interesting because it gives it's basically considering it's around Halloween time. We get like a lot of Halloween costumes. So we have Nano as a ghost, we have Shion as a mummy, we have Futaba as a cat version of Goliath. Okay, we have Tao as the Grim Reaper. We have Mutsumi as the Devil. We have I as like a skeleton panda thing. Okay, we have Ayaka as, oh, I can't remember like what I know like the actual, like the ones with like the talisman spells in front of the fight, like those kinds of characters. I don't know the names of those characters. And we also have Shinzo as a Goliath bear type creature, but Kiricho is honestly the most normal out of them, strangely enough, which is surprising because I've always thought he would have been the devil. But hey ho, what can you do? Pretty awesome colour page. But yeah, we get into like the main meat of the chapter, which picks up from the end of the last chapter, where Alpha is just like, is just bawling his eyes out because of the plan that's going through. And even though he's like, okay, I'm going to be a big boy, I'm not going to cry, I'm not going to panic, I'm going to stay strong for father, I'm going to stay strong for father, he just absolutely loses it and starts crying. Everyone's just like, okay, are you okay? And he's like, yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to lose it like that. And Mutsumi is like, oh no, don't apologise, it's all okay. You love Papa very much, and he's in a test spot right now. Anybody would be upset by that, which is true. Anybody like who actually loves their family as much as this family would be upset if their family members were in a tight spot as they are right now. And even though Mutsumi is feeling relatively calm about this, well, I say calm, more like holding back her like true feelings as well. You can actually see like on her face, or on her face where she goes, this is all part of the plan. Like she's like, even though I kind of agreed to this, I'm kind of still not okay with this because of the fact that the monster that has done this to our family is now inside my husband. As she continues saying, Papa let Asa take him over on purpose, and now Anti-Futaba and the others are trying to keep it at a distance while Uncle Creature is going to talk to Grandpa Momo to try and get him back, to wake him up, to get his blooming. This is all part of the plan, and he'll use his blooming to pull Asa, basically reiterate to Alpha and Hiyofumi what we learned in the last chapter. But of course, Creature is just like having none of that, which I don't know if if he's actually told anyone, or if he's actually gone against, or if he's very much going against what the plan actually is, because he has an even bigger plan in mind, which begs the question of like, is Koricho actually gonna let Asa kidnap so many of the families and take them back to the Yozakura mansion so that this actually culminates in his plan? Because remember in the last chapter he said, "Yeah, we're not doing this plan with your blooming Momo," but at the same time, are they going to be okay with that? Because I assume they're not going to be. But that's just something that I have to bring up here because of the fact like they seem so dead set on Momo being the one to be like, yeah, we're going to get Asa out of Tile, but Creature, like I said no about that. And they continue on by saying like, oh, this will bring Papa home. He promised. The promise that Tao gave to him was like, yeah, I'm not gonna leave you ever. But at the same time, he's kind of left them because his body is being taken over by Asa, even though he's technically still in there. But at the same time, he's not in there at the moment. And we see Alpha just like again, just trying to hold back like the pain that he's suffering, because all he's seeing is just like Asa in Tao as the images get blurry for him, and then he sees Tao basically seeing him in that state with his precognition blooming, where he saw Asa towering Otao just completely decimated, and you see Tao's body just like being like completely engulfed by blackness as Alpha is just like, yeah, I don't know if I like this. What's going on here? Why am I seeing this? And at this point, it's just like, I have to go and do something right now. Can I have a moment to myself? And everyone's just like, okay. But you see, Hirofumi's there. It's just like, yeah, I know my brother. I know that look he's giving. It's that look of like, yeah, something is going on. He's seeing something and he is not expressing himself in the truest way. So I need to follow him and I need to find out. As we see Alpha by this door, like, I assume it's the same door that Koricho went through as he thinks back of no, it's the door that they've been sealed in, and Taro's saying like, no matter what, whatever you do not go outside, because I assume like if they go outside, then Asa's gonna be like, okay, the twins are outside. I know where they are right now. I'm going to capture them. So we cut to a flashback of sorts, or more of a vision in Alpha's head, where he's thinking about the last words that Tao said to him, which were, everyone's protected in this room with all their might. So promise me you'll be good, and you'll wait in here until it's all over. Are you okay with that? Are you okay with that, Alpha? And Alpha probably at the beginning was like, yeah, I'm fine, Papa. Just come back alive. And Tao was probably like, I will. But at this point, because Alpha is just seeing like Tao as dead than a doorknob on the for his precognition, is like, he's really in debate at this point of just being like, do I keep that promise I made to my father, or am I just as worse as bad Alpha? Which again goes back to the title of Bad Boy, because he's betraying the promise that he made to his father of to just stay back, don't get involved, don't come out of this room. And like I said, because if he goes out of that room, game over for everyone. Well, I say game over, but Creature probably has a plan up his sleeve. So like, if everything goes completely to shit, he's gonna be like, okay, I need to put this plan into motion. We need to get the twins back. We need to get everyone back before shit really hits the fan. As we see Alpha just debating to himself, just being like, what do I do? Do I go outside? Do I betray my father? Or because I can't see my father anymore in this state, I have to get to. And a hand comes behind him, which is revealed to be Hero. It's just like, I spy a bad boy. And Alpha's just like, no, Hero, are you trying to give me a heart attack here? And Hero is just right there like, now Alpha, remember what you said. Remember what you promised. You said you would stay in here and be a good boy, didn't you? And Alpha is just like being assumed right here. It's like, yeah, it's not like I was going to leave. I was just going to the bathroom. Just going to the bathroom. Nothing wrong. I wasn't trying to leave anything here for me. But here for me, of course, sees right through her brother of just being like, yeah, you saw something again, didn't you? Of the future of what is actually gonna go on, thanks to your precognition. I noticed it before because I suddenly saw you getting this really hurty look on your face, like something bad is gonna happen to Dad or Mom or just about any other. So yeah, I can see that look on your face. Like, you cannot hide like the looks of siblings. Like no matter how hard you try to hide something, like your siblings, and I speaking from experience, yeah, like your siblings will be able to know, like, yeah, you are thinking of something that you are not expressing yourself in a true sense. So just tell me what you are thinking here. And you turned into a I have to do something. I have to do something look. So yeah, any sibling, if they're looking, if they know their siblings as well as they do, like, will know instantly. Like, yeah, they are up to something. They've got something going on, and I'm gonna find out. So Hiyofumi just straight up asks Alpha, like, look, what did you see? And Alpha, knowing that his sister is just gonna be like, yeah, I can't hide this from Hiyofumi. She needs to know this right now. And he basically confirms, like, oh, it's the thing I saw the first time my precognition hit, but this time it was much more clearer, and he fears like Tile is actually gonna die. Which, hey, they could actually do that. They could spin it away where Tile does die, but at the same time, his conscious gets transferred into another body. That could potentially happen, or at the same time he dies, and maybe something like, say, Shinzo or somebody else, Shriekspring Women, can bring him back to life. So we can have the Tao death scene. Maybe he has to die for Asa to really truly be eliminated himself, and then maybe they're able to get him to come back to life through somebody's true spring blooming. That might be a possibility that we go down. But here from was just saying, like, oh, no, Mama said it was okay. Uncle Nano said so too. He says there are a lot of fake stuff in your future. See, so yeah, even though Alpha can see the future and it's been pretty accurate, it's still not 100%. So that's why I'm saying, like, maybe Tile will die, but maybe there's like a path that they could go down where it's like they're able to bring him back. But I can understand like Alpha's dynamic, especially since he's only 4 years old. We have to remember that these two are still really young kids, and to have that image of just their dad dying, like, yeah, I don't know any kid who would be as strong-willed as Alpha is being right here when it's saying, yeah, you're seeing your dad die. Yeah, just imagine being 4 years old and having that mental image stuck in your head. Like, hey, my grandmother died 20 years ago, and I've still got that image of in my head myself of her just lying in that hospital bed. I'm not even kidding. That image is just burned into my rectum, because I was like 13 at the time, and this was 20 years ago. I still remember that day when I went to the hospital and saw her in that state. So yeah, I can understand itself exactly how Alpha's feeling right here. And he says, seeing Papa get possessed shocked me. This could be nothing more than anxiety showing me my worst case scenarios, which again makes perfect sense. Like seeing Tao get possessed by Ansa, like just like burning off, like, oh my god, that's dead, he's really dead, he's possessed, he's been gone. Like, this is control, like this conquest is taking over, like it's all being possessed. Like, just like having all those thoughts burning through his brain. But he says he's so clear to it, seeing multiple times, and he's actually scared of what is actually going to happen. So Hiyofumi is saying, like, but we're not allowed to go out there. Asa is out, like, she's reminding her, like, look, we're not allowed to go out there. Asa's out there. If we leave, it'll make trouble for everyone around us, because Asa's target primarily is us, and even if we do go out there to help, we can't bring Papa back ourselves, so we'll just be in the way. And Alpha's just like, no, that's not true. I want to rescue Papa, but it's not him we're supposed to go to. And they're just like, and Hiyofumi just like, what? As Alpha reiterates, like, no, it's the ship. When Papa told us his plan, he talked about Grandpa Momo, and now he's in Asa's ship. But at the same time, I don't think they're going to be immune to Momo's business. So if they go inside the ship, then yeah, game over. And Hiyofumi goes on and says, like, wait, isn't that where Uncle Creature is going right now? As Alpha says, that I just don't know why yet or what will happen, but I do know one thing. The future where the two of us are inside the ship and the one where Papa dies are totally separate. Yeah, but the future that when you're inside the ship, if you go in there, Alpha, that dreams blooming will probably affect you. I don't think Alpha. I'm surprised Hiyofumi's not bringing this, unless maybe she doesn't know. Maybe they both don't know. They probably don't know that Momo's blooming is affecting the ship. So if they go in there, then they are going to be affected. And yeah, that's where I feel like this is actually going. They're going to go to the ship. And yeah, they are going to be affected by dreams, which is going to make it even easier for Asa to get his hands on them. But at the end of the day, I do like this idea of like, yeah, we have two separate paths, but one of them does lead to like two very negative outcomes as well. So either way, they're probably going to be a little bit screwed at this point. And considering the series hasn't been announced, like, hey, it's ending in this amount of chapters, like, still at this point, even though we're in the climax, still hasn't been announced, like, when the series is officially ending, which makes the question, like, yeah, the twins are going to get kidnapped by Asa. I feel like that is actually something that's gonna come to fruition as they go on and say there are totally different trajectories, which means if we can reach the ship, we could probably prevent Papa from dying. I know this is crazy. I know, I know wanting to go is bad. It's not that I don't have faith in Papa and Mum and the others, but I really shouldn't do it this time. Like, basically just getting all his thoughts and feelings out of this and confirming to Hiyofumi that he's such a bad boy. And this is where Hiyofumi is just like, okay, yeah, this is Alpha at his absolute vulnerability. Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. Absolute vulnerability. I've never seen him in, well, she probably has seen him in the States before, but never to this extent. So it's at this point, like, yeah, she needs to hug her brother. Like, she needs to be there. She needs to be the sister for her brother. Like, even though they have fought, there are times where it's like, look, your sibling is pouring their heart and soul out here. You need to give them a hug. That's just the case across the board. Like, if you see a sibling like just breaking down like this, expressing their fears and concerns about their family, like, you just need to hug them. Like, give your siblings a hug every once in a while. Doesn't matter if they're brothers or sisters. They all deserve a hug when they're at their most vulnerable state. As Hifumi says, remember that device you had for making loud noises? Do you have it? And Alpha's just like, what? You mean the megaphone? It's just like, yeah, that's it. The Alpha Watch does have that function, I believe. Yeah, it's right here as he brings out from the Alpha Watch a microphone, and Hiyofumi is just like, and he explains like, yeah, speaking to this microphone, it'll magnify your voice factor by 100, as Hiyofumi is just like, yeah, you're gonna have to cover your ears for this one, Alpha, so just go ahead, as she just blasts like what could only be described as like the Missioner's Core version of Conqueror's Hokuri, which just basically knocks out Ayaka and mutes me, where Hiyofumi is just like, oh, they're fine, they'll wake up in about 5 minutes or so. My blooming is supposed to be infinite, which means I can make lots of powers. If I use that and shout with all my strength, it cannot. So basically, yeah, it's Conqueror's Hockey from One Piece. That she did. And as Mutesme is just lying there, Alpha comments to Hiyofumi, she's like, oh, is that why Mama's out when she's normally totally okay with you singing? I'm used to it, but even my ears are still ringing. So I guess that's one thing Hiyofumi inherited from Mutesme, Hiyofumi's a bad singer, just like how Mutsumi's a bad singer. And everyone's just like, oh my god, they're gonna sing, we have to cover their ears. And of course, Karichi will be just like, that's the greatest sound ever in the world. Which, I mean, I cannot wait, because I'm gonna go back and rewatch the first season of the anime at some point. I cannot wait to get, even if it's not included in season 1, I cannot wait to get to the points where we hear Mutsume just like really awful singing. Like, how bad is it actually gonna be? Which again, that is something like a lot of dub haters for the English dub cannot complain about, because it's deliberately designed to be bad. So I'm really looking forward to that. But anyway, Alpha says, still, when did you figure all that out? As yeah, and of course it was from Karichiro that she practiced it on him a bunch of times, and Alpha's just like, oh yeah, of course, that makes perfect sense. Yeah, no kidding. It's Karicho. Of course, that would make sense. But anyway, so now that Ayaka and Heal and Mutsumi are just out cold, this is where they take off. It's just like, come on, we need to get to Grandpa Mama in the ship without us or Auntie and the other spotting goes on. We've got to do it before Mama wakes up. Then we'll save Papa. As they're walking away, Heal just says, Alpha, you aren't a bad boy. You're a really good boy. In fact, you're too good for your own good. You don't play tricks. You always listen to what people are telling you, and even though it takes a lot to get out of him, he does express his feelings in the end. Even though he tries his damn hardest to cover them up. You're not good at being bad. I'm way better at it than you are. I've got this, so let me handle it. Okay, and Alpha is just there like, okay. I trust you here, Fumi. We can get through this. Papa, Mama, I'm sorry, but when we come back, you can scold us for all you did. Like, I know we're breaking the promise right here, but we feel that it's all for your own good, and now we have to go for Papa's sake. As we see them entering a part of the academy that they're in, like that structure area, and that's where the chapter ends. So yeah. Not really a lot to go off on this chapter. It's more a case of just being like, okay, Hiyofumi and Alpha, like, we need to get out there. Alpha is seeing like a bad thing that's going to happen to Tayo, and even though it's not 100% like the actual truth, because there are different paths that they can split off on, I do like that when because with Yuha in Bleach, it's just like, no, this is dead certain. I can change this. I can manipulate this however I want. I do like that there are different paths that can go on, and it can lead to different outcomes, rather than just being like, no, this is gonna go the exact way that I want, because I am the one that's in control of the future and everything, and blah 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 blah. So yeah, that's really what all this chapter boiled down to like Alpha expressing his true feelings and just feeling like, okay, even though I know I've seen a future where Dad dies, there's still different paths that can go on, and it can lead to different outcomes. It was just basically them escaping into that area. Now the big question to take away from this is, if they do get to the behemoth, will the dreams blooming take them over? That's the thing that I am most concerned about, because that blooming is still active in that area. That was the whole reason why Creature had to develop his blooming to actually counter it, to actually get into the behemoth himself. So yeah, do Alpha and Hiyofumi have counters to that? That's the big thing that we have to question here. But of course, that's all we'll have to wait and see on that front. But anyway, guys, what did you think of this chapter? Let me know. Like, subscribe, comment, all that jazz. And this will be Lasherluke signing off. Later, guys.